on? Welcome to the Flex and KG show. Okay, Flex obviously looks very different right now. Yeah. I'm gonna say he's going through his Michael Jackson late in his career phase. This is post Pepsi. This is post.
You're trying to suggest this is a wig?
Well, nah. Listen, Flex is on holiday because he's naturally disgraced. He's disgraceful. And we got the one and
disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful.
We got the one and only. It's the KO show. Rebrand. Still the Flex and KG show, but /KO. Are you with me?
Do you know what this is like? This is like when in America you've got like the Tonight Show, you've got Late Night, you've got Jimmy Kimmel, and they go on holiday for the summer and they get a guest host in. This is just guest host.
This is guest host.
Just one of those ones. But it's still Jimmy Kimmel Live. It's still the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, but there's just a guest host this evening. That's exactly what it is. And like those shows, KG, brilliant segue. This show and this video is brought to you by Oxford Natural by Gowan Life. As you would have seen recently, as you can see right here, KG is the living proof. Flex and KG have been on their health journey and the results are resulting. Phenomenal. Flex and KG have been utilizing the Optimum Day and Night and getting the results. If you haven't seen the original video, I recommend to go watch it. It's just before the FA Cup final. If you want to find out all the information, it's in the video description. I do believe also there is an update coming on later on this week to see where you're at with it all, how you're doing with all that kind of stuff. As you can see on the screen right now, there's a QR code. You can scan it. It can take you to the page. You can get your Optimum Day and Night. You can use the code UnitedView for a further 10% off, or go in the link in the video description. I saw you in the flesh the other day, KG, and that was the first thing I said. I went, KG, mate.
Bloody hell, mate. He said, bloody hell. I was, and I was really happy because you're one of those friends that I have in my life that are not really gonna just you're the kind of person that will say done okay if I've just done okay, but then
done okay.
I won't sugarcoat it.
You won't sugarcoat it. Yeah. And he's like, all right.
Yeah.
And that was good. Yeah. And that's all I need to hear. That's kind of like, you was almost like Tim Henman's mum. You know, she used to be on centre. She'd just be there. And
see, this is why I don't get with you, KG, because we start on such a good footing, and it's like getting on well actually scares you. Immediately, you have to throw an insult straight away.
Well, this straight away. She don't respect Tim Henman's mum. I think she's a legend. I think she's great, but she's there. She ain't gonna celebrate stuff that she just thought. Right, it's the simple.
Why Tim Henman's mum?
Because
Andy Murray's mum.
It's just that Tim Henman. I think Tim Henman's mum used to go. Let me go and check because I know she was the first one. Remember when Tim Henman had his own cereal called Sustain, but he couldn't sustain his form, so they deleted it. Tim Henman's mum.
I used to just remember even when Andy Murray first started, you get that person in the crowd. They do the joke every time and they go, "Come on, Tim," and everyone go, "Oh, you're bloody, you're funny, aren't you?"
Oh wait, it could be Murray's mum actually.
Yeah, Judy Murray's
mum. Yeah, she's the proper one, innit?
Yeah. Because like I say, I've not really ever heard of.
It's the Murray mum. It's the.
That's why. Do you know what? That's why I thought this is so rogue. This is such a left turn because I'm not sure anyone's ever brought up Tim Henman's mother.
It's the other lady.
I'm like, that's even worse. I'm Judy Murray.
Well, I'm just saying, on the sidelines, wishing me well, but not getting too far. Stiff upper lip, we say.
Yes, exactly. That's indeed what I do. So yes, scan the QR code on the screen and you can join KG in his health journey, and I can be some kind of Scottish woman, I guess, in cheering you on to trophies. KG, have you seen any news today?
Probably not. So do you know what? You're gonna be proud of me, bro.
Oh,
I've done this new thing, that I'm trying to stay up to date. Have you noticed? I've been trying to stay up to date. Yoro. All I know is about Yoro. I heard there's, if
Yes.
we're talking about certain things today on this show, I believe we will talk about Jadon Sancho. There's quotes from the manager.
Yes.
There's also quotes about, when we say quotes, there's real breaking news about Yoro. And then there was this morning, I watched your morning show. I was gutted. David Ornstein, Bomber exclusive. We can only have one. And I was sad.
Yes.
So
Yes. You're pretty much spot on. You're pretty much spot on with that. Let's start off with the news. At the time of recording this video, just in the last few minutes, Nabil Dejelit, who is a French journalist, and you would go, wow, who's he? He was the one that was first to break the story that Manchester United had a bid agreed, or a fee agreed with Lille for Leny Yoro. So certainly, when it pertains to this story, very, very credible. He is reporting that Leny Yoro is in negotiations with Manchester United on salary conditions. Yoro has opened the door to joining United. Real Madrid are still there, but are now behind.
Yes, they are.
So that's a stark development.
This is huge news, you know. That's
a big development. As KG points out, this morning, David Ornstein kind of said when it came to all of this that United were pursuing these deals separately to each other. Progress has been achieved on both. But the current expectation is they would recruit one as opposed to both of them. Now, you kind of get the impression that United view Yoro as maybe the longer shot and De Ligt as the kind of one of, we can do that one fairly quickly if the Yoro one doesn't happen. But for a deal that, you know, the feelings are he does just Real Madrid. He's only going to go to Real Madrid. He's only interested in Real Madrid. That's all he wants. Not interested at all. For him now to be like, well, if I was to come to Manchester United, what kind of contract would you be getting? What's my salary looking like? That's pretty significant. Whoa. That's at least being open.
Listen, I hate to be an I told you so merchant, but...
Oh, no, you've been very much on I told you so recently. You've been right quite a lot, KG. The only problem is you don't bet on it.
And this is the thing, right? We get into this thing with Yoro, and it first came up, and... Because, you know, when we speak to the guys that do all these transfer type shows and these transfer gurus and stuff, Man United don't want to be in a situation where they can really embarrass themselves, right? There's got to be some level of indication that they're willing, they're open to. They're Man United, I remember the thing, was it with Kevin Hatchard? Is that his name? Am I saying his name correctly?
Yeah.
That flexed it. And I'll never forget that part of it when it's like, look, like they remember chasing Frankie de Jong that whole summer and embarrassing themselves, really. Doesn't want to come. They want to avoid that type of situation and show it's a clean slate, it's a new slate, and Ineos is totally different. Well, then, when we now entered the race for Leny Yoro, I thought, that's interesting. Considering everything that it's like, I'm Real Madrid bound, this is very interesting. Why have Man United done this? What indications have they been given by the Euro camp that there's willing to have talks? And if you go in a chronological order, the main part is, well, we put in a bid, and then there's the tweet from the fake Euro account. The fake Euro account. I love it. But there's a tweet from the fake Euro account, and it's like, leave me, Man United basically, leave me alone, and he comes out and says, that's lies. And he says, calls him a psycho or something like that. And from that moment, again, if you're like me, that's cup half full, I would say cup half full, almost running over. Yeah. What do we do?
We're playing that game, you know, when you just the little drips into it. You've seen that one on social media.
I'm that guy. I looked at news like that and I thought, oh, so we have a chance. Oh, we're really in this. My immediate thought was, we are really in this. And I did a OWEN special. I started looking at people that have Real Madrid accounts and I started bookmarking some of the things they were saying. That's OWEN special. I didn't really and that's probably why I had a little feeling of confidence, but we can get into the breakdown of things here, but what's going through your mind right now? Because we kind of broke it down the chronological order. Could he come here? Yeah. Like, how do you feel about this move?
You know what? I was talking about this morning, and this is my perception of Manchester United in the transfer market has actually changed quite a lot over the last few weeks, because I've seen people naturally assuming we can and can't do things based off the past, which is only natural. That's logical to do that. What happened in the past shapes how you would think it's going to happen in the future. The problem is our point of reference has changed, hasn't it, KG? Because we look at how we operated in the past with different people, and we're assuming these new people are going to be operating in the same way as the old people, and that doesn't really make a lot of sense. We've already seen improbable things happen in the last few weeks. I always bring it back to this one. Dan Ashworth, he's not meant to be here at the moment. It's definitely not going to be this transfer window. It's not going to happen. He was in Norway yesterday for Man United on preseason tour. He's doing deals. He's actively involved in this transfer. Omar Barada, no one had heard anything. And suddenly it was just, he's CEO. He's going to start in July. He's there now too. You know, Christopher Vaval, that was another one. That came out of nowhere, didn't it? Just Christopher Vaval, he's going to start. Oh, Jadon Sancho, he could play on Saturday in Edinburgh in a Manchester United shirt. That was impossible a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely no way. No chance. Particularly when he was at Dortmund. He's never coming back. That's not going to happen. Now, we'll talk about it later on. Let's talk about, he could definitely stay. There's someone that's a real possibility. So we're not in the position, I think, anymore to be like, no chance, rule it out. In the past, we would have. To your point, if it was the same people, if it was John Murto and all those other people involved, you'd go, I've seen you chase a player around Europe for an entire summer and nothing happened. I'd be just as skeptical. But I'm with you. I look at it and say, they must. I mean, these are pretty competent people at their jobs. That's why you've brought them in. Yeah. They must have had at least the slightest inkling that this wasn't impossible. And I do rate the fact that they've analyzed it and gone, it's not impossible. And then they've backed themselves to go, we think we can get it done.
We can do it.
And it's not even like laughable, like John Murto, I think we can get it done. You know, you go, come on, John. You can't though, can you? You know what I mean? You know, you're going to be back at the airport in an hour, go, didn't work out. You know, it's not like that. They're like, we think we can get it done. They're talking salary.
This is where it gets even more interesting, right? Because you missed out a deal that I think is like pertinent in this discussion. When you talk about AC Milan's plans was never, we're going to sign Morata. It was never to sign Morata.
Yeah.
Never. That was not. Guess what we're going to do? They had Xerxes again. He's a big fan of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And apparently he was like, not like heir to the throne, but they created this link. And it was good. The rollout would have been fantastic. That's why Zlatan was the first one to speak and saying, we're going in another direction. Man United, if you go back to old Xerxes comps and highlights, all you can see is welcome to AC Milan, Forza, all this other stuff that they do, right? And suddenly, Man United get in there. But then AC Milan are ahead because they've been working on a deal for a long time. Man United have managed to bring in the young player of the year in what is it? Bologna's young player of the year.
Under 23 Serie A player of the year and Bologna's top goal scorer, and they qualified for Champions League. Mental.
That's what Man United were able to do. They got ahead of the queue and said, "We'll have him, please." Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that is great because before. We'd embarrass ourselves. We wouldn't get there first. And especially if there's another club involved. Remember, we always said, if somebody else wants him, forget about it.
Yeah, that was it.
That one, Now, we're talking about being able to get involved. And it's not happened yet. This is all subject to Real Madrid could make a wicked move. Now, don't get it twisted. Real Madrid have got to handle Mbappe and the price and package, everything that comes with Mbappe. I don't know if they got blow us out the water money. So it's like Real Madrid are going to be the arrogance that they had. Man United used that against them almost by going to the parent club and saying, "Hey, we respect you guys. We would love to have this talent here, and we think we should give you what its going rate is." If Real Madrid think about you the same, they would do it too. Because they were able, when it was in the time, they wanted to move heaven and earth for Mbappe. And they've moved heaven and earth for a lot of the signings before. We see you differently. You should come here. And I think where we get into the Ligt story is we was always arguing about who starts if you come here. Who starts? And if we don't sign both of them, there has to be something along the lines of assurances. Because if you say De Ligt's coming, you got to tell De Ligt, you're starting, bro. Now, if you're gonna sign Yoro from Real Madrid, if you're gonna steal him from Real Madrid, there has to be promises of you're the number one centre back. We see you as number
Do you
one.
believe that though? Do you believe though that it's definitely only going to be one centre back? Because my theory is at the moment is I think with Man United in the transfer market, I don't think we can rule out anything because it's changing all the time. I think there's a lot of guesswork going on with this too because all of the stuff keeps coming. This Euro thing, yeah, we were kind of superficially linked with him. Suddenly one day it was just with the same journalists, oh, they've put a bid and it's been accepted. You went, where did that come from? That was quick.
Yeah.
Like Jared Brantwaite, it was the same. It was like, oh, they've agreed a deal with Brantwaite. They've got to figure it out with Everton. You know, same with De Ligt. Oh, by the way, they're really in for De Ligt. They've already agreed a contract with him, and it was like, well, that's happened. Then you get journalists come out going, actually, they could get 2 or 3 centre backs this summer. You know, and now it's like, nah, it'd probably be one or the other. I do think that. I don't think United just ruled out anything. I don't think, you know, in the past, United was so steadfast of like, we're getting one striker, we're getting a midfielder, we're doing this. I just don't think that's the case anymore. I think United are like, we're working on multiple deals because we're seeing who's out there. We're seeing who's available. And if we can get 2 centre-backs in, we'll do it. And then also, they back themselves to be able to sell the players that are, because, you know, Greenwood looks like he's going to be going. Sancho, maybe he's going to be staying. Maybe he's still going to be going. They sold Cambuala. I really do believe they're like, yeah, we'll get at least one.
I hope
2.
I really hope we bring in De Ligt. Honestly, like this morning when I was trying to make a choice, De Ligt was.
Well, if you had to pick one, what would that decision look like?
I thought about it for a while. I have to say De Ligt. And maybe shamelessly, the song has a lot to do with it. But then, gotta be honest.
I thought this was going to be.
Yeah, he's done it again. That is a foul. You fucking little bastard.
Oh, wait. There's other analysis. But the song is part of it. I can't lie and tell you that it's not. I can't lie. I'm lying. Now, here's the other analysis. I've actually not seen Yoro play. It's hearsay. Me wanting Yoro is total hearsay. I've listened to what people said, and I'm like, that sounds good. I like it. I like that, please. Now,
is it based on the Madrid thing as well? Because Madrid are interested.
Real Madrid. Remember when? And again,
and gotta be careful. The Donny factor.
The Donny factor for Real Madrid is disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. You know, when you think of the Donny factor,
disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
There you go. When I think of Donny, I'm like, well, they wanted him. And they never came back for him. It's like they Men in Blacked it. And it was like, we were never linked to Donny. Don't know where you got that from. And
Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
Interested.
You never wanted Donny.
You never wanted Donny Van de Beek.
The fans don't even think. So this is the thing, like, I worry because we've looked at the club involved for him. And we said, oh, we're getting some Liverpool as well. All of these things, you know. I remember when Jurgen Klopp told us Ralf Rangnick is the godfather in Man United. They're finally in a... You can never trust. Did he really? We thought was getting something. We've been done. We've been done over so many times.
A few times.
So many times. Maguire wanted... Man City wanted... Wait, who was he fighting for Man City? I swear Maguire wanted...
It's a couple of times. Maguire, Alexis Sanchez, remember?
You don't want Maguire. You never wanted
Maguire. They never wanted Maguire.
This is what I'm saying. We're always the guys that pull up and then we do the madness. The Lit for me feels like I imagine what that partnership would... Lissandro will be like, and I'm like, that is what I really want. Two guys that want the club. They play with passion. They are playing on the edge, so they are gonna be a bit risky. Good in the air. Like I've been so excited by De Ligt coming to this club that I'm almost a bit disappointed if he doesn't arrive. That's how I feel. But then I do want to. In the best dreams, I would love to take both. In the best world. I take both. I think De Ligt edges it for me, but then his injury record is something to worry about. You know?
It is something to worry about. Yeah.
And Yoro, is he ready now? I know Ten Hag's got no problem playing an 18-year-old, but is he ready?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sitting in the flex seat today, and I know that he has many a time said, I want to sign that player from like the French league, young, from not maybe the biggest club. I mean, I know Lille did actually win the league a few years ago, but that young player. And let's be honest, and this is funny how it always works out, isn't it? Because if Real Madrid did sign Leny Yoro, we'd be like, see, this is the difference between Man United and Real Madrid. 18-year-old, Lille centre-back, they just pick the best players in Europe. Whereas if it's us, we're like, I'm not sure, is he ready? But again, that's based off, that's the track record, isn't it? It's the track record. We don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our recruitment. We just assume, well, we do buy young players sometimes and it just doesn't work out, or they're not ready, or blah, blah, blah. I think that, like you, I would love to have both. I don't think you can rule out both. I obviously know the finances, the PSR, and also I don't think we should get both for the sake of missing out on another position. Like if it was like, oh, we can't get midfielder because we got 2 centre backs, I'd be a bit pissed off with that because we need another midfielder. Or if it was like, oh, you know that other centre back you got, I mean, couldn't really get a left back this summer. I'd be like, we need that left back. We really, really need that left back. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably edge it towards Leny Yoro just because of the ability to grow into that. The ability, I mean, 18, long-term contract, does look to have a lot of pedigree. Like you, can't say I've watched all of his games. I'd be lying if I told you that I had. Not that De Ligt's old either. I mean, it's a pretty embarrassment of riches, isn't it? You know, they're both young players. But we shall see. It's certainly encouraging that United are in salary negotiations. If he was just not interested at all, he wouldn't have those talks, would he? Seemingly, you know, he wouldn't.
What's Man United?
Go, if you don't want to, if someone picks up the phone and goes, "Hey, KG, I've got an acting job for you," and it's like, let's say it's like, I don't know, EastEnders, and you're like, I don't really want to go into soaps or whatever, but they go, look, KG, it's going to be a big role. You're going to be front and center. We're really excited by it.
I don't know if I've gone because I'm not moving.
You're frozen, yeah.
It's off. This is bullshit.
It's the KG of the comedian internet.
I've stepped on something, or I've kicked something, or I've done something. What is going on? That's not responding. Let's say force quit. Force quit. That? Oh, I'm back.
You're back. I'm leaving it in. I'm leaving it in the edit as well.
I saw the thing and it came up and said force quit because OBS is not responding. I was like, well, shut up, Dale. I'm not even using it. Do you know what I mean? But anyway.
But my point I was making, if someone calls you, they say, hey, KG, we want you to be in EastEnders. You go, I'm not really interested in kind of like EastEnders. I mean, I appreciate it. Institutional program, but I appreciate it. And they go, look, but we really, really want you. You're going to be like a big sort of leading character, big storyline. You go, that would be nice. If you're not interested, you just go, no, thanks. You don't go, how much?
Yeah.
You know, if you say how much...
No, because
how many episodes?
And what's the arc? What happens?
Exactly. Who am I doing scenes with? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, or they go, we're bringing Grant Mitchell back. He's going to be involved, and you go, interesting. Ross Kemp, interesting. You know, you'd have those talks, wouldn't you?
I'm telling my agent. I'm on the phone to Emma. I'm saying, Emma, I think we might. No, I always do this. What do you think? Whenever I'm in an impasse, whenever I'm in an impasse, I call my agent and I say, she goes, and then she'll tell me the pros and cons for going for this and stuff. And then we make a decision. And I'm like, I trust you wholeheartedly. So I know you got my career in your hands. You'll never lead me astray. Yeah. Even when we started talking, but then again, what Man United have done really well is the people that we're having these conversations with.
Exactly.
It was so intelligent to go to the parent club and say, hey, we want to offer you this. Yeah. It says, we respect the work that you've done in building up this youngster. And we know you want to build up your club. Guess what? We're going to give you the market value. We're not going to take the piss. We're not going to win 15 Champions Leagues and then act as if we can't pay the going rate for these French stars. when it's what we're supposed to do, to respect your league and your economy. Sometimes doing that goes a long way, and this is parent club. I remember, who did we do a madness with? And we said, was it to Haaland's team, where the team that, there was one deal that we messed up because we just didn't offer the right amount, and his dad worked on it. His dad worked.
Oh, that was someone from like Real Betis or something like that. It was the one that Flex was talking to you about the other day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had a deal agreed with the club or something, and we went to the guy's dad and said, you know, if you just sort of left, we could get him for free and that kind of stuff. But he worked for the club, as you went,
you idiots. Yeah, you. But then sometimes you got to learn. You in that dossier, yeah. And people in the chat will remind us who exactly that is. But then we
plays
can't.
Liverpool now, I think, doesn't he? Liverpool got him.
Was it Diaz?
No, I wasn't him. It was a youngster. There was one in that recent report, wasn't there, about it?
Yeah, in that recent report, that's so annoying. But Man United have understood, like, well, that didn't work. That went horribly wrong. Now, what you do, showing respect, because that's what it comes down to. Man United have never been shown the right levels of respect in a transfer dealing. They get it all wrong. They travel. Look how many times we've been pictured in Barcelona trying to do a deal. These guys ain't flying out.
No.
They're doing the deals from where they are. Like, it's embarrassing. United turn up, we go for a quick cheeky sangria conversation, and they offer us players that we don't want, and we come home empty-handed. That's what happens. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, outlooks, we've been working. No, you haven't, bro. You've been getting mugged off. That's all you lot have been doing. And do you know what I mean? Like, now you got a new situation of Man United showing levels of competence. You got Man United with deep relationships. You hear now we have a good relationship with PSG. Well, if you follow the alignment, Blanc was there, and he has a relationship with them. Hence, we now have a relationship with them. You know, them footballing. You're not going to take the piss. The Ruud van Nistelrooy, his links are going to be maybe have some dividends. If we even sign Xavi Simons, I will now say, yo, you can tell the arm of Man United is incredible now. But
yeah. Same with Omar Barada. Got links, obviously, Barcelona. We know, obviously, City, but links to people in Spain too. Like, there are certainly options there, indeed. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Jadon Sancho. We got to talk about Jadon Sancho. We spoke in depth about Sancho on Saturday on episode of Trinity, powered by Dan Gore. And Erik ten Hag has spoken for the first time about Jadon Sancho's return. Of course, he wasn't there yesterday in Norway because he's at Carrington, still training. Could be available for Saturday against Rangers. Erik ten Hag had to say, he said, as we said, we draw the line. Manchester United need good players, and Jadon is a good player. We have drawn that line, and we move on. And Florian Plettenberg, of course, German journalist, would know probably from Dortmund sources, has said that Erik ten Hag's statements about Jadon Sancho today are the result of good discussions with him in the last days. Manchester United is increasingly considering keeping Sancho. No final decision yet as a club, but they will listen to suitable offers. But keeping Sancho is a scenario being discussed internally. He's got a contract until 2026. Now, this is quite staggering. What a turnaround this is, KG. I mean, I'm not too surprised by Ten Hag's statements there, saying we drew a line. It's kind of what we both said on Saturday, wasn't it? Of just, it's done now, isn't it? And there's not really any point sort of dwelling on the past that much. They both, it's like if you're friends with either side and you've still got like the beef, but your friend's no longer got the beef, you go,
idiot.
What? Why am I still fighting the war? It's over. Like,
you're an idiot.
It's done.
You'll be an idiot. You'll be there. Like, bro, but let's talk about how do you feel though. Shut up, bro. We moved on.
Like, I mean, I'm done. Like, no, I don't care. Like, it's done. You got.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm done then. I guess I'm done. That's how I kind of feel about it. But what's the possibility of him actually staying now? That's the question, isn't it?
And this is what we really need to do. We need to understand the fundamentals of this club to understand where we're going with this Jadon Sancho thing. As you saw yesterday, we lost to Rosenborg, and the knives were out. The knives came out.
Yeah, to say the least, knives are out. Like Edward Scissorhands, they were out on every single hand, KG. It was crazy.
So now I want to play a scenario with you, because preseason, while it matters, it doesn't really matter. You're talking about, let's say Sancho has a great preseason. First game of the season, Sancho's not in the lineup.
Which he kind of did last year, by the way, didn't he? He had a
Exactly.
pretty good preseason last
There
season.
you go.
Yeah.
Again, there's shadows of what's happened before. And then the narrative starts again. Man United have to control the narrative this time. Now, if he goes at the start of the season and it is Anthony or it is Garnacho, it's not Sancho. We're not like back to phase one, but then the noises from outside. And then what we do hope is that people remain. What we do hope is I'm on an airport run tomorrow. Sorry, my brother-in-law's pulling up. What we are hoping, he's doing a real communication, pick us up. What we are hoping is Sancho, or like how in other players in the past have not responded to when you've been left out. I'm fit. You know the tweets, I'm okay. I was clear to say. You know, like, remember what this club is and what we've done in the past. And that will give you a good vibe, because we need to hope everyone's on the same page. Because sometimes that's where it all goes wrong within the season. We could have one moment that shifts us back to where we don't want to be. So hopefully they've ironed out everything and everyone understands where they stand. In a sense of, if Sancho says, I'm willing to fight for my shirt in the same way Maguire did, because Maguire lost he's the best example, even if you don't like Maguire, they took his captaincy off him, yeah? And his first initial tweet was disappointed. I think he said he's disappointed so, but then he put his head down and we never heard about it again. We couldn't even go back to it because he drew a line in it. It's all about the player. So when they ask, if Sancho ever does any media and they ask Sancho a question, he has to be as clear as Ten Hag's been right now. Ten Hag's come out and said he has we need good players, and he's a good player. Very clear.
Line drawn in the sand. It's done. We've moved on.
Clear. If he leaves any space for interpretation, us Man United fans will do our work. We'll
exactly.
We'll take it from here, Sancho. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you. Well, don't worry, we got this.
New thumbnail, breaking news. You've seen the pictures of, you've seen what we've done. We said that players have been allowed to go home when they wasn't. We can just create any story.
Because it's true. It is true. It's so true. And do you know what? It's actually really interesting. What's really interesting, actually, is so obviously one of the point of contentions of Sancho last year, from his perspective, was that he was like, I feel like I should be playing over Anthony, blah, blah, blah. I think Anthony, with the season he had, and I know there was stuff happening off the pitch, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it feels almost inevitable that if you were going to rank, okay, the right-hand side, or whatever side, really, because who knows what side Sancho is actually meant to be starting on. We did buy him for the right-hand side. But if you were going to rank the people on the right-hand side in terms of Ten Hag or who he would pick first, I think it'd be Garnacho, because he picked Garnacho always on the right-hand side towards the end of last season. Garnacho leapfrogged Anthony. I think Sancho would be second at this point over Anthony. I think Anthony would be third. I think he really did. I know towards the end of the season, scored a couple of goals, particularly the one against Liverpool, but he did so much damage to, again, his standing. And there was that report as well about in that Liverpool game where he moved to left back and he kind of threw a bit wobbly, and Ten Hag just chewed him out in front of the whole dressing room.
I wish I was there.
Follow what I do.
I wish I was there. That's the one that I wish I was sitting in the dressing room for that one.
Exactly. That kind of stuff. So I feel like the spot, I mean, at the moment, I would say the spot's probably Garnacho's, but I think it is up for grabs. Maybe more so than it was when he was last there.
In the past thing,
or Ahmad, forgot Ahmad as well.
Because they said Ahmad. What's crazy is, and some United fan called me out saying, "Oh, why am I saying this stuff about Ahmad? He's not going to have a problem with him, this, that, and the other." End of the day, if you're just a wing forward, like a Mason Mount, all these players will be looking at the Sancho news and saying, "Oh," because that's one more player I have to get out of the way. The only one that can feel a level of confidence and a level of assurity, in a sense, may be Rashford. Rashford's sitting there.
Can he, though? I don't know if he can. That's changed. That's changed in 12 months, though, KG. If it was a year ago, I'd have said absolutely. But it has changed.
You
we saw that beginning of last season. You remember when Rashford, he was playing rubbish, and I was just like, I'm not going to take him off. I'm not taking him off. And then started coming off a bit earlier. Then
They switched sides
Switch
first.
sides. Yeah, yeah.
They put him on the right-hand side, which you know he's
exactly.
crap over there. Yeah.
Exactly. And then starts sort of going, no. And then a couple of games doesn't start. And then, has the instance off the pitch, but then starts. Like, I do feel like the idea of Rashford being untouchable like he was 12 months ago, I don't think is the case at the moment. But, he's still. Right. We saw Ten Hag start him in the FA Cup final when we didn't think that was going to be the case. But then when he was injured towards the end of the season, and he came back and he was ready for those last couple of games and he didn't play. And Ten Hag was like, no, I'm not going to play you. So I do think like,
Ten Hag
it's a bit more open.
I know.
It's not to say he doesn't like him, but I think it's more open than it was previously. And also, I don't think we can rule out Sancho still leaving. I still think if like Juventus came in and went, we'll give you 40 million quid, I think Man United would be
I don't think you have it. I don't think
They don't. I think they're trying to sell people though, and I think if they did and they were able to pull off the deal and said, "Here's 40 million," I think United would be like, "Well," I think they would turn to Sancho and just say, "Do you want to go?" And if he says, "Yeah," they'd be like, "Okay, cool, no problem." Like I don't think there's, like we're happy to have you back, we're happy to have you involved because there's no real legitimate offers on the table at the moment. But like is the case with a lot of these United players, if an offer comes in, I think that United are happy with, I think they just turn to the player and go, "Do you want to be here?" And if they say no, you go, "No problem."
Let's break this one down. Do we believe Sancho is better than Anthony?
Yes.
Cool.
What do you say?
Sancho better than Ahmad?
Oh, that's a difficult question, that KG actually, because you got to judge different. You got to judge quite a few things.
I'm gonna
you
say
got to judge
that
potential, don't you?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? Because I'm like, where is he on our? Where is he
in the rankings?
Where is he ranked?
Yeah.
And that's the best question that we have to ask ourselves, right? And I believe that he has. I believe he's more talented than Anthony. But then what Anthony has over Sancho is his ability to just work bloody hard.
Work rate, yeah.
His work rate is like what if you hate how his delivery is, he just works. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So a lot of players get started for working Conor Gallagher, young bleep test. You see how he can get into certain McTominay. We got our own versions of players that can work just because of work rate, you get in. And one thing that Ten Hag is looking for is talent with work rate. Now, Garnacho, is he better than Garnacho? I say maybe. I want to say Garnacho shades it ahead of Sancho because he has work rate and the ceiling at the moment says, well, you have the potential to be a supreme player for us. Garnacho's had a lot more good games in the red of United.
Well, he's done more. Yeah, he's done more than Sancho's done.
So
exactly, that's true. But with Sancho, what he has over other players, you would say, because I know I can already hear what the comments were saying, is when we're talking about some of those players, like say Anthony, locked in, has to play on the right-hand side, isn't he? Because that's all he can do. He's so one-footed. Whereas with Sancho, in fairness to him, can play on the left, can play on the right, can play in the 10. There's versatility. Versatility, which is something to consider too, isn't it? Of when you're talking about players and we say it's not just about the 11, it's about the squad. If you have a Sancho on the bench and you go, I can bring him on for any player across the front, like four, that's or also actually we saw him last preseason up front, false 9, which he can do. That's something to consider as well, isn't it?
This is why. So then when you do the rankings and stuff, you definitely put Anthony lower, right? You say Anthony out of the look of it, I think probably you're at the bottom when it comes to the wingers. But then the Ahmad one is where it gets, flex, man. Literally.
Is it flex call you?
Can I tell you we're live on our show? 1 second.
Yeah.
Hold on. Flex, you're live on the Flex and KG show. Can you hear Owen?
Hello.
Flex. You're live on the Flex and KG show with me and Owen. We're recording right now. Piss off, Flex. Wait on, let's call him back.
He is.
Do not disturb as well, you know. Flex, you're live on the Flex and KG show. Can you hear us?
No.
This is unacceptable. Just
disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
I'm gonna wait. Hold on. WhatsApp. I'm gonna say, please don't call back. I'm working recording our show. Please don't call back.
Absolutely woeful. Absolutely woeful.
I'm recording our show.
Poor, and I mean poor.
This guy's got no reception, and he tries to call me. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop doing this. Like we spoke this morning. You interrupted my stream this morning. Anyway, do not disturb is when you got that little moon thing in it, the half moon thing, right?
Yeah, everything gets turned off basically.
Come through then.
Have you got him on your list of people that can break that? Because you can get a list of people that can come through do not disturb.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
You never know that. Yeah, well, I don't know if you've got it set up on your phone or not, but there's like settings where you get into do not disturb, but there are certain people that, because if it's an emergency, if it's serious, like if it's your wife or whatever,
my wife
if it's your kids.
She's done that before, and I was like, have you done this?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, Flex ain't my wife, so piss off.
Yeah. Oh, can we tell the audience about the interaction that I had with your wife over the weekend as well?
Oh yeah. Of course you can. Which one?
So again, we were at this event, and I love KG's wife. I've spoken to her plenty of times before, and she was like, "It's really nice to meet you." I was like, "Yeah, it is." And I like kind of a bit later on, me and KG sat down, and I also went like, "KG, like, I have actually like met your wife before several times," and you were like, "Really?" When? I went at the studio, at your
loads of
gig.
times. And I'm, you know me, I'm not afraid to like make a situation.
And immediately you went, "Hey, come over here. What? You met before?
You met like 4 times.
Yeah, when? Turn to me. List them. And how I know she's your wife. She did the exact same reaction that you did, that you would do. She just went, "Oh yeah."
Because she goes, "Love Owen." It's just so weird. Remember, because then because the alcohol started pouring. We started pouring some alcohol. He knows. And then he just mugged me off about my drinks, which was out of order, to be honest. Yeah, you lot mugged me off. Yeah, you did.
Because KG's orders of it just doesn't touch it. And forgets, then comes back like 45, a couple of hours later and goes, "They're mine, aren't they? Yeah. There you go." And yet somehow,
I'm still drunk.
And yet somehow it goes, "I'm still drunk." How? There's nothing.
Oh man, you don't understand. I will be honest, this is a real community, man. Real friendships in this thing. Owen, you're not moving. Oh, I thought you ruined yourself. I was gonna be so happy that I thought your internet died on you, and a little part of me, the petty side of me, was a bit happy to see you fall. But anyway, back to saying in a real community, we really care about each other.
Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
Did you see the shift, by the way? That was remarkable. I can't believe that. This is a real community. He's basically going to go, we're real friends. He thinks I'm frozen. He's about to go, we're real friends, though. We really enjoy each other's companies. I mean, honestly.
She's still...
That's fucking reckless! You're going to give me yellow.
My missus did ask about the food, though, because still yet to make an appearance at our house. She spoke to you. She did.
Really nice to me about that. Yes. But actually, I think she thought she was being nice, but actually then it's given me a bit of a complex because she went, I was explaining the things that I like and I don't like. Yeah. She was going, that's completely normal. That's fine. That's not an issue. And I was going, thanks. Yeah, thanks. She went, my daughter is exactly the same. You just got a child's kind of selection. I went,
Oh my God.
Kind of. But she was being completely legitimate when she was saying, like, just going. It's just, I don't worry, I've heard it all before. My daughter's exactly the same. You just kind of got a child's palate. And I was all went, yeah, problem is that kind of not a child though. So
Big man.
I'm a grown man.
Man. My daughter's in year 3, bro. Having her palate is insane.
Yeah.
Now, but we got to. We can make you. What do you think about? Because she likes to. This is when she likes to show off and stuff, and she can make her like a Wellington from scratch. You know, like is it beef Wellington? Is it beef Wellington?
Beef Wellington? Is that what?
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever had
yeah.
that. I don't know if I've ever had that.
She loves to do that. Remember, she really wanted to be a chef at one stage, so she was doing like pop-up restaurants in places. Oh, she can
nice.
master chef. She can if she wants to play the master chef games. You know, with the jus and the the aromatic with the sauce and the richness. Yeah, she's into that.
The reduction.
And like deconstructed, what you call it. She would deconstruct.
Deconstructed, what you call it.
We're not even saying anything Man United related for the last 5 to 10 minutes. Let's get back to work.
Deconstructed, what you call it. The reduced, there you go.
Hold on.
Anyway, wait a minute.
Wait.
Oh, yes.
We're talking about finding out where Sancho and thinking about. What I say on this is to round up the Sancho point, because some people are like, just get back to it. To those people, I will say this: Sancho back in the team. It is what it is. You know, I'm open to it. I think he's in the bracket of where is he. There's places where he can be. If you talk about versatility, he's probably high up there. If you talk about skill, you say he's probably really high up there in top 3. But then next season for me in my mind is the Ahmad season. I believe Ahmad comes because Ahmad can play, is quite versatile, can play in the 10.
Yes.
Can play wide. He has got the energy. He has got what it takes. We just looked at his body style and type and thought, are you strong enough for this league? I think he's proven that he's ready now. Like we must allow him to embrace his first chance at Man United and really get given a go. You know, so that's what I want to see. So hopefully they manage to rotate and that happens.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just kind of again moving on with it, and this actually ties in quite nicely to yesterday and the game and Rosenberg. I saw you did a bit on your channel about it.
Yeah.
KG, just as we're recording this, guess what we've got? Guess what we've got? We've got some breaking news.
Breaking news.
Coming from David Ornstein regarding a departure from Manchester United. David Ornstein is reporting that Marseille have reached an agreement in principle with Mason Greenwood to sign the forward from Manchester United. Says work still needed. 22-year-old must travel, do medical, put pen to paper, but major development after deal between Marseille and Manchester United struck last week. So a deal has been agreed not only with Manchester United and Marseille, but now Marseille and Mason Greenwood. So at the time of recording this, it's looking like this one is getting closer to getting done. I wouldn't be shocked if we get a here we go from Fabrizio Romano, probably whilst we're recording this too.
We need to give Di Marzio his flowers. He told us that it's earlier this morning. I think he went in and said that deal's done. Basically, Di Marzio, bless him. He feels like someone that was a former great. You know that person in one of them American high school movies. He's the guy that was the quarterback and he was killing it. Now he's just got fat. But he's reminding the good days. And he tries to do something great, but we don't want to hear. Like, even though we know he has sources, there's something about Di Marzio saying it, and we're like, "But what does Fabrizio think? What is?" And he used to be. He was just there with them. Like that was his. He was a part of that class, the leader of that class. It sucks that he must be thinking this is a piss take. I said that earlier this morning, and now I was like. These two will rock up, either Fabrizio or Ornstein, and I'm just on the outs. I'm on the outs. I used to break news all the time.
Maybe he walked so they could run, that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's maybe what it's like.
Yeah, but again, great news. I think the club's done well there. but you can see the difference of the level of teams that were fighting for this kid's signature, regardless of Mayers coming out. Regardless, so we had it said Lazio agreed to the same deal Marseille did, and it said another team. Remember, it was the Lazio director or something. Someone came out from Lazio saying we've tried to do we offered them the same thing, so we don't know what's going on. But
yeah. No, it's true. I mean, Ornstein just clarifying again, the deal is worth £26.7 million, comprised of £23.3 million fixed and £3.4 million in add-ons, plus a large share of any future sale. There is going to be a sell-on clause too. Greenwood was actually at Carrington yesterday on Monday to hold talks with Man United's football leadership team to help facilitate an exit from Old Trafford. Yes, this deal is looking to be done very, very soon. We'll probably get a here we go from Richard Romano very soon. And interestingly now, because this is going to be one of our larger sales from a pure profit point of view, is where does this money go? What deal does this go into? Does this go into a Leny Yoro deal? Is there money already earmarked for the Leny Yoro deal? Does this go into the De Ligt deal to possibly do them both? Does it go into, we're going to go for Agate now? Or the Glazers. Something else. What do we do?
Or don't forget the Glazers.
or the private jets on the club accounts. You know, remember one trip equals one trip, one Zidane bow is what it costs.
I'm so proud of us. There's something great about being right on the line and just, Flex watching the show back, like a level of enjoyment and disappointment. That's when I know I've done my job.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the times he's going to be watching this going,
what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of times.
And that makes me happy. I don't know, that's the childish. That's That's the problem. I'm like, there's something so fun about doing it this way, But I'm really proud of us.
They could have been killed.
They could have been killed.
They could have been killed.
I'm so happy I wasn't on the watch along with you yesterday, because I could see there was moments when you went, this is what you went, and it was just a reminder of being back in the watch along. He goes, I forgot this. Preseason, this is that thing that happens. It's preseason. When I was watching that thinking, so happy I'm not in the room there. Like,
I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah, because I wanted to talk about this because you spoke about how Man United fans operate. We do this every single season, and I forgot because so much happened last season. I forgot that this is a thing, which is heaven forbid you lose a match. Heaven forbid you don't play well. That means KG. We didn't win the league. We're 14th in the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. And you go, and when you do bring up the legitimate things where you go, well, they've had a week's training, they go,
excuses.
You go, but there's only sort of 4 or 5 senior players, and actually a couple of them aren't even starters.
Excuses.
And it was actually only really kind of 45 minutes.
Excuses.
Second half was just purely youngsters.
Excuses.
They actually, Rosenberg are halfway through their season.
Excuses.
Someone said, I'm not even joking, KG, they went, Ten Hag hasn't learned about his substitutions. He changed the entire fucking team at halftime. That's what happens in every single preseason game.
Excuses.
And then they bring up, they go, but last season, we didn't have a good preseason last season, and look what happened in the season. So it's bled over. Look at, like, for instance, you said in the one of the last fixtures, we don't look ready, which is fair when it's one of the last fixtures where all of the seniors are playing. But when you've literally got 4 or 5 senior players who play 45 minutes, and the biggest takeaway is they didn't look very sharp, you go, I wonder why. Like, it's got no impact on the season. But you mentioned it earlier on. I don't know if it's just the knives are out. I don't know if it's just because there is sort of an itchiness to be like, this last season can't happen again. So if they see something that gives them a reminder of that, that's terrible. I think the media, they're waiting to pounce. I don't know if you saw some of the accounts talking about it last night too.
22.
It's just,
I got sent the stats. I got sent 22 shots on goal. I said nothing changed. Someone sent me that and I goes, here we go. Like there's,
Yeah.
it's just, bro.
Tiring.
When I tell you, yeah, and alongside the Gareth Southgate news as well, and it says makes his path very simple for the United job, and I was thinking, we're like literally, we're in this thing, Man United. We have to be so careful as a club because they're ready. I'm telling you, not just internally, externally, our rivals can't wait. They can't wait. And what was so foolish about people's takes and stuff, and I get it. If that's a lot of the first team, you say, well, what's going on here? What's changed? Same,
Yeah, exactly.
and the other. But then, mate, you're talking about there's two players. Let's think of the team. Mason Mount is not solidified himself as a Man United starter. Rashford is the in that team yesterday. Rashford's the number one starter, I would say. He's a number one starter. Casemiro has been a starter, but Casemiro, we're openly trying to sell Casemiro to the Saudi league. So when you actually look at that team and break it down, you say, well, actually, let me not leave out Wan-Bissaka. But you really just go and say,
we're trying to sell him. We're trying to sell him to West Ham. And then the other senior player, Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans. And we're kind of including Hannibal Mejbri in there as like, he's played games for Man United now. You know what I mean? So like it's
like, guys, all right. So now let's really look at that team and say, well, expectation levels. Now, second half, it is what it is. But I just think that one thing I would like here is we need to hit the ground running just so I don't want the divisiveness within our fan base. I kind of want to everyone band together. So even the Ten Hag outers, Ten Hag inners, we all band together and just kind of stick our middle fingers up at everybody else that wants to see us forward. I would love that. Like I would love a certain siege mentality within our fan base, like unite for this season, especially it being new. There's such a new feeling at the club.
AG, remember I said this on the Trinity a couple of weeks ago, and the immediate response is, Owen, that is stupid. That is never going to happen. Right, I agree with you. I want the unity. I want to forget last season. I want to move on. And what really puzzles me is last season, when we were talking about the season prior, it was, you can't talk about that. That's the season prior. Whereas at the moment, all we want to talk about is last season now. But we established the rules last season of last season's last season, and you can't talk about that. Why are we dwelling on the past so much about 45 minutes in a preseason game? We beat Arsenal on tour last season, and guess what? That didn't mean anything. And we're establishing the ground rules that it can't work either way. If we'd have won yesterday, KG, what would the response be? It doesn't matter. It's preseason. It counts for nothing. So when we lose, it should be the same, isn't it? Of like, well, it's preseason. It doesn't really count for that much. Not to say you can't take anything away from it. Of course you can. Of course you can look at players going, like yesterday, Casemiro, don't look very sharp. He's flying his tackles. I don't know about that. Of course you can look at maybe some young players and go, Collier, second half, actually look pretty neat and tidy. I hope he gets more game time on the tour, that kind of stuff. And they're like, Eric Ten Hag came out and sort of said it was rubbish, so gotcha. And it's like, well, it's not really a gotcha. I hope he does. He's establishing standards. I mean, I don't want my manager of any game to come out and be like, "That's all right. It's all right. It's it's no problem." Because we didn't play well, because we were rubbish. But at the same time, to use it as, and I was someone that again I'd criticized Eric Ten Hag a lot last season, but I don't look at those games and be like, "See, Eric's learned nothing."
Again, I think we have to be. We have to just be. There has to be experience as a fan base, and we have to understand. Okay. Because even me now, when we play Arsenal and Liverpool again, while I would love those victories and stuff, I can't look into those victories and say a madness. I remember telling Don Robbie and them lot after the game, sit down, hold that. They finish second, we finish 8th. You know what I mean? Like that is the.
You'll do it again, though. You'll do it again. You'll do it again.
Yeah. But then I have to.
But that's what preseason is, isn't it? That's what preseason is.
Preseason win, but I won't now go into the season and say, this means this. I'm going to learn from the preseason and understand, look, preseason is about getting these boys ready. The where it all comes into, like, where it all gets serious is Fulham. The Fulham game, and probably, I like the final. I'm going to do what the manager's saying. The curtain opener, the final against Man City. I would like us to win that. If we ever play Man City, I want to be on the winning I want to be on the winning side, you know. So I hope we deal with Man City, because again, it helps with the feelings, the environment, the media narrative. Because you can, they would say, let's say if we lose that curtain raiser, they'll say Man United have already lost the game. This could be a losses of two losses on the bounce at the start of the season.
Yeah.
What's changed at Man United?
Yeah.
You know, so we have to.
But it doesn't determine your season. But it won't determine, like, look at City. I mean, they haven't won. Look at us when we won the treble. We lost the Charity Shield that year against Arsenal. I remember watching Louis van Gaal win every single game in a pre-season. Once we beat Liverpool, we beat Real Madrid, beat Inter Milan, beat Roma. He then won one out of his first 5 games in the Premier League after that.
And that was when we had prime. Was it Pereira? Pereira went crazy on that tour, and was that the Pereira special?
Someone said this to me on X last night, Twitter, and it's so true. They said, if preseason mattered, I'd be calling my child Andreas Pereira right now, but it doesn't.
Oh my God,
it's true. It's true. Andreas Pereira would be worth £100 million if preseason's legitimately mad, and it doesn't.
That's a great tweet. That's a great tweet. Yeah. I don't know if we get any better than that. I think we peaked at that moment.
Yeah, we have. I think we have. So there you go. I'll be sure to... No, exactly. Ripping off someone else's work. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. A reminder, the video is brought to you by Oxford Natural from Gowan Life. Follow the link in the video description. You can scan the QR code. KG's got his bottles there. There you go. That's nighttime?
The nighttime one. Yeah. I make sure keep it by the computer, so I remember to take it like just before I go to sleep.
Yeah, and legitimate. I mentioned that when we were at KG, were at this function the other day. There was actually some like sweets that were near there, and I was getting involved. And I said, KG, you're not getting involved. And KG went, I don't want to. I went, why? He went,
how? How? Imagine me. I'm the cookie monster, mate. I'd put those away like the Harry. It's good, man. I'm remembering my old sweet tooth, bro, and I was miss it, but this is what you need.
Exactly. So scan the QR code or click the link in the video description. Appreciate everyone tuned in. We'll see you again. Flex and KG will be back next week together. The pairing will be back. We're out of it. Peace.